Hello and welcome back to a little bit of a different episode today. If you are new here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Clay and I will be your guide today as we talk about a little thing called Top Shots. What are they? Why should you pay attention to it? And what is their connection to hockey and the NHL? Let's get into it. Now, if you've never heard of Top Shots before, or maybe you have heard of it, but you really don't know what the hell it is, I'm happy to report that you are in the majority. Because Top Shots right now is in its very infancy, and it really only applies to the NBA. So if you're not an NBA fan, you probably have no idea this exists. But I'm here to tell you that it's going to make its way to the other leagues sooner rather than later. Top Shots is a form of sports memorabilia, sports collectibles, very similar to trading cards. But instead of it being a physical thing, it's virtual. Another key difference with Top Shots is that you're not collecting like a player card or an autographed photo or something static. What you're collecting with Top Shots are highlights. For example, in your virtual collection, you could own the highlight of Patrick Kane's 400th career NHL goal. And that would have a little bit higher value than, say, a highlight of Nikita Zadorov's first goal of this season. Now at this point I know what you're wondering, because I wondered the exact same thing. How can a virtual highlight of a play that I can go and find on YouTube to watch hold any value, or hold value similar to a physical, tangible sports memorabilia item? And the answer to that comes in the form of a tech buzzword called the blockchain. Now I'm not going to sit here and explain to you how exactly blockchain technology works. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube that can explain it much better than I can. But what you need to know, what you need to understand for this video is that the reason blockchains give cryptocurrencies value is the same reasons that blockchain gives Top Shots value. A blockchain is essentially just a unique string of informational data that tells you things about whatever it is that it represents. So in the instance of a Top Shot highlight, the blockchain data will tell you what it is. It'll uniquely identify it as that particular Top Shot highlight. It'll tell you things like who the owner is. So I can't just go around saying, yeah, I own that highlight and that highlight and that highlight too. The data will tell you otherwise. It'll also tell you things like the complete transaction history of said highlight. So when it sold, for how much, and to whom. And all this data, this blockchain of data, it's there forever. Because blockchain data does not get edited. It just gets added onto over time. If there's a new sale of the highlight, the data of that transaction is just added onto the chain of data, the blockchain of data. And this data can be verified, can be validated by Top Shot through the blockchain. That's a rabbit hole to get into. There's a reason why there's a billion different cryptocurrencies out there, because there's many ways to implement this technology and do validation algorithms and such. But just know that there's a way that it can be validated. So if somebody just takes this data and copies it and then edits a little bit, well, it will fail validation. So this is how you know that you have an original Top Shot highlight. That's where the value is. So if there's a video of this highlight on YouTube for people to see, cool. It's free to see, but it's not this Top Shot highlight. I could have a picture of the Mona Lisa in my hallway. I don't, but I could. And it wouldn't hold a whole lot of value, at least certainly not nearly as much as the original Mona Lisa that's in the Louvre Museum. So that's where the value is. And that's how it can hold value, even though it is a virtual thing and not a physical, tangible sports memorabilia piece. Now all of that is fine and dandy, but some of us are visual learners, so let's take a look at some NBA Top Shot highlights and see kind of what all the fuss is about. So as you can see here, this is an NBA Top Shot highlight that features Eric Bledsoe blocking a shot. You can see on the right hand side that it has quite the range of prices. I would say ignore the highest price, the $250,000. I think that's just the max somebody can set for one of these, and they're just setting it just to see if they can get a ridiculous sale. I would say pay attention more to the lowest price, so $17. Now prices for this highlight will range because there are multiple editions of this highlight. And when I say editions, I mean think of prints of a physical trading card. There are 15,000 prints of this virtual highlight. And each one of those prints has a serial number. And some serial numbers are worth more than others. Say, for instance, if we go all the way to number 5, which is Eric Bledsoe's jersey number, you can see that they have placed that serial number version at the nice price of $5,555. But a different one, a different serial number that maybe is a little bit higher and doesn't really have any correlation to anything, 2581, you can get that one for $24. So this is a highlight that you can have and you can add to your virtual collection of highlights. And it's to note that this is, a virtual collection. So it's not like you're storing physical memorabilia anywhere in your house. You don't have to worry about having physical space for it. And if you want to show it off, you don't have to, bring it to anywhere. You don't have to invite someone over to your house to show it off. You can just send a URL link to your collection and show people what you own in terms of Top Shot highlights. Now here's a version of a highlight that's a little bit more valued. As you can see, lowest price is $240,000, highest price $250,000, pretty much the same at that amount of money. But you can see down here that there's essentially only 25 versions or prints of this highlight. And right now there's only 2 that are for sale. So that's why the price is super high. And so because of the limited supply and potentially high demand, that's why it has such a high price. Now, I am of the opinion that Top Shot highlights is something that is here to stay for the foreseeable future. And I think it's going to be a decent revenue stream for the leagues that get in on it. Because it's a little bit different than normal memorabilia. Normal memorabilia that you think of, the initial sale gets money to the league or the team. But any secondhand sales of that memorabilia, the league and teams don't get a cut of that. But with Top Shot highlights, every single sale runs through Top Shot and therefore the leagues. And they will take their cut of every single sale. So that will get revenue for these leagues. I think for that reason, leagues are going to pounce on this. And even though it's only in the NBA right now, very soon it's going to find its way to the NFL, the MLB, MLS, soccer leagues across the world, and the NHL. Now with that said, I would say that I'm not really all that interested in owning virtual highlights. Like, it doesn't really appeal to me all that much. But I'm not like a big sports memorabilia collector. Yes, sure, I have some memorabilia, but like not a whole lot. I don't go out and collect it. But there's plenty of people who do. And even if you don't think that dunk highlight is worth $240,000, almost twice the cost of my house, there might be a really hardcore sports collector out there who does. Remember, the value of something is always in the eye of the beholder. With that said, I do think prices early on are going to be a little weird with this stuff. I think it'll take a little bit of time for prices for these highlights and the economy of them to kind of settle in. So if you are wanting to get in on this and maybe even buy and sell and flip highlights and try to make some money off them, I'd say be careful. Like with anything, there is risk involved with getting into it, just like any other memorabilia. Remember, trading cards, physical, tangible trading cards, they were freaking like huge in the 80s. Their value went down quite a lot over time. So even if something seems super hot right now, it may not be in 5-10 years. So be careful with stuff like that. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to spend your money. And so with that, I say thank you so much for watching this episode, talking about Top Shots and what we may be seeing coming to the NHL fairly soon. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.